All right. Well, it is 10:05, and as people join in, we can just welcome them in. But we'll get started. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out of your day to come join us today. So welcome to our Zoom meeting. We're excited to have y'all here today. As you know from the emails, the County of San Joaquin Public Works Department has created a new online tool to assist with estimating traffic impact fees for your project. That's going to roll out starting July 1st, and it will be available for you all to use at that time. So today we have staff from the county here to present the tool, go through a few scenarios, and answer any questions that you have, give you a chance to kind of look at it. If you feel it's a small forum, so we're a small group today. So if you have any questions throughout, feel free to just take yourself off of mute. You can ask them as we come about. And yeah, so if you have questions, you can also put them in the chat box and we'll monitor those as well. I can introduce us here today. So my name is CJ Crawley. I am with AIM, helping to run today's meeting. And my colleague Esme is also here as well, running our Zoom room. And then we also have Maria Lisa Loera from the San Joaquin County, and then Jeffrey Levers also from San Joaquin County. And if you have questions, just let us know. But other than that, Jeffrey, I will pass it on over to you to get us started.
All right, perfect. Well, Zachary, Brad, thanks for coming out. I'm pretty sure that both of us, or I've spoken with both of you at some point over the last 10 years, something coming through our public works area. So the whole idea behind this tool is, as you're probably aware, every project is a little different. Every time that you do a project with the county, one of the key fees related are traffic fees. And so we have two traffic impact fees. One is the county's traffic impact mitigation fee, which is a San Joaquin County fee. And one of them is our regional transportation impact fee, which is a countywide fee. It's supervised by SJCOG, and it is charged by the county and all 7 cities. So we started asking ourselves the question of what could we do to help facilitate the requests that we were getting, where a lot of people would say, hey, I just need an early estimate. Sometimes this is for budgeting purposes. In your guys' cases, sometimes this would be, your clients are asking and saying, give me a better idea. What am I looking forward to moving in? And, these are fluid. A lot of times it'll be, well, what if I change my square footage from 20 to 50,000 or something like that? And then the fees will also change. Every time that those came up, Marilisa and I would have to go ahead and look into it, do a determination, and get that information back. So we've been looking into doing what we're going to present today, which is just a simple web tool that'll allow you to punch in your information, and it'll come back and give you a draft fee estimate. So on that note, let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen to kick this off and show you the tool that we have developed at this point. All right, so can everybody see my my web browser screen now?
Yes.
We're good. All right. So this is actually based on our existing SJ map tool that we have on our website. If you've come to the county's website previously to do something like look up districts, look up survey records, this is the same tool that our surveyors department has some of their lookup information based on. And so when you start, we've added just your generic warning here about how any fees estimated are just that, informational purposes. They're based on what you enter, and it's non-binding, and all final fees require our review. This is specifically, as I mentioned, sometimes projects change. I know I've had multiple times in the past where somebody comes in and asks me early on, like I said, oh, I got a 20,000 square foot, building, and then 2 years later, it's morphed due to the client's needs. It's become a 50,000 square foot building, and they can't figure out why the quote we give them is almost 3 times higher when the square footage tripled from the initial one. So we just put our standard disclaimer in here. And then there's also a note at the bottom, and I'll touch on this in a bit. If the project contains multiple uses, calculate costs per use and add up for the total fee estimate. And that's really because our our techies said we couldn't find an easy way to have an ongoing calculator and have it enter multiple items and total them up and give that. So you have a multi-use, and I'll pick a winery as a great example. You know, wineries have the manufacturing portion making the wine. They'll have a large warehouse component for storing the wine. A lot of times they'll have a retail tasting room or some offices. And for each of those, you know, you just have to punch in each of the separate items. And I'll give an example of that. So once we clear the box, this is our standard tool. It has the county map here. This actually shows each of the fee zone districts labeled here. So throughout the county, the various fee zones are, you know, we have Thornton, Lodi, Lockford, Clements, across the top, Delta, Stockton, Linden, Escalon, Ripon, Manteca, Lathrop, Tracy, and Mountain House. So those are our 12 different fee zones, and the fees will vary based, or the TIMF fees will vary based on that. Our TIF is going to be a flat fee. So the info grabber box is the first one that comes up right here. There is a button here that allows this to be opened or closed as needed, or if it's in the way, you can close it to get out of the way as you zoom in. This is ideally to start off so you can actually see, if you zoom in, where this is. So I'll just use an example. If we go in and you can't, you know, you're looking here and you can't tell now that we're zoomed in at this view, you know, around, you know, Highway 4. Well, now you don't know what zone you're in. You can use this, pick a point, and then it'll pop up and tell you two key items. This location falls in the Linden planning area, which will need that to do the fee estimate. And the other important part, the location is within the San Joaquin County jurisdiction, therefore this tool is applicable. This is in here, so now if I go ahead and say, well, what if my property is over here? This is the development off of Arch Road. I pick this and it says it falls within the Stockton planning area, but it's within a city limit, therefore this is not applicable. So this is just that little reminder. Well, we don't want somebody coming in trying to use our tool and they're on the wrong side of a city limit line, and it just adds confusion for them down the road. So that's the first key box on here. The other navigation's pretty simple. There's just a home button here, and that just returns you to the standard view here. And also, if you're zoomed in, like with anything, you can just hit the refresh button on the browser. As it refreshes, then it basically takes you back to the original view, and that'll be complete with our little pop-up warning message as it slowly loads. There it is. Other than that, there's the simple, it's similar if you've ever used Google Maps, Google Earth, any browser. You can use the zoom wheel on your mouse to zoom in like this. You can use, we have the plus and minus buttons here, and you can go ahead and if you click and hold, it turns into the little arrow and you can move around to pan. So again, real basic, simple tool. You can go ahead and do that. So I wanted to jump over now to just a few examples. Once we have an idea, if you know what your zone is, then we have our search box up here, and it tells you the two key ways is you can search by the assessor parcel number, or APN, or by an address. So for the first example, I just decided let's do something over at the Stockton Airport because we have lots of land and warehouses going on. So type in my APN, it zooms in here to the airport. And so now that I'm in this area, and again, if this is what I was saying, if you're not sure, it does say Stockton up here, but that can be misleading. So we can still jump back, use the tool, pick here and say, yes, it falls within Stockton. Yes, it's in the county. Versus if you go across, you know, to the part of airport that fronts over on the other side, this tells us, you know, let me redo that. So you click mark again, you pick here, and now it tells me that, oh, this isn't applicable. Now I'm across the street in the city. But in this case, so now that I found I'm at the airport, I come over and this is the toolbar that tells us the fees. So select my project type, and this is our standard. All of our fees are one of these types. We have the single family and multifamily residentials at the top. We have office, retail, warehouse, service commercial, and manufacturing. So in this case, my first example is we're going to do a 25,000 square foot warehouse. So I pick warehouse. Now it's asking for my zone. So I can go ahead here. They are grouped to keep this list from being 12 long because the similar zones have similar fees. So I'll pick Lockford, Lodi, Stockton here. And then it asks for my square footage. I punch in 25,000 and it's going to come back and tell me, here's my TIMF, here's our TIF. My total combined fees are $22,000 and change. Now, let's say, as I was mentioning earlier, we're going to do a multi-use. So let's say we not only want the 25,000 square foot warehouse, but we're going to add a 10,000 square foot office onto this. All we have to do here is the same thing. We go up to office instead of warehouse. You'll notice it clears out the fee estimate, but it leaves your planning area the same. Now we change this over to $10,000 or 10,000 square feet. It gives us the estimate of $33,000. So now if you had noted the warehousing 22, you add the 33 combined, you have about 55,600. So you can use this to do any amount of estimating, add up any number of land uses that need to be done here as it goes. So going back to, we're back to this tool here. I decided for another example, I'm just going to use my address here. So 1810 East Hazleton. As I start typing in, it starts to auto-populate. And after I get to about 3 letters, here is our Stockton address. So once I pick it, it zooms right in on this area. And again, we're in the city of Stockton here, so you'll notice the shading here is yellow. If I had any doubts, I can go ahead and double check it, and this will pop up and say, I fall in Stockton, but I'm within a city limit, therefore my tool is not applicable. But assuming this was the other type for a residential, we have single family home. Same general idea, you pick your planning area here, and then instead of square footage, it just asks for number of dwelling units. So single family home, here is our standard today rates, the 1,500 for TIMF, 36 for our TIF, for 5,200. Multifamily does the same. Let's say we wanted to do a duplex, so we punch in 2 dwelling units on the duplex. It comes up and gives us that. We could go with a small apartment. I go ahead and change 2 to 20. It multiplies the numbers by 10. Nice, simple, smooth, goes through like so. And so that's pretty much the overall tool. Anything within San Joaquin County can be searched. Each city limit will have a different color. So like I'll use Tracy as an example. So 333 Civic Center Plaza. Why I know that, I don't know, but we jump over to here and now you'll notice the pink background. So anytime that you do a tool search here, if there is a bright, colorful background, that's a good indicator that you're looking at somewhere in a city and therefore our tool is not going to be applicable. I will just add on a side note that while the TIMF portion is county specific, this could be a good tool in your back pocket. You'll have to contact each city directly, but as I noted, our TIF costs are not going to change. So if you're developing in a city and you forget our TIF, this kind of does work for everywhere, cities and counties, but we don't have the any of the city's public facility fees, so you'll have to contact them directly. And that's about all I have. Pretty simple walkthrough. And at this point, happy to answer any questions, or if you guys would like me to try a different example, I'd be more than happy to walk through any other specifics on it.
Yeah, this is a very nice tool, and it will definitely be very helpful to us.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That was
I
our
like it.
goal. Easier for you and easier for us. We all win.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good tool. Well, I think your examples work. I understand what you're trying to do. So I think we're with the new development, everybody's coming in, at least they know their fees. It can help them decide if it's going to work for them or not, which is a good thing.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I will I want to I'll share with the two of you, this will be coming down the road, but there has been a new change to state law, and I don't want to move into this much. One change that'll be happening to this tool probably close to the end of the year, or possibly January 2023. So in here right now, we have single family or multifamily homes. And when I go ahead and pick, let's pick, Escalon. I live in Escalon, so I'll throw that in there. Today it says enter the number of dwelling units. I pick, a single family home 1, it gives me the numbers. The newest state law says that all fee programs that are updated from here on out, residential is moving to a per square foot fee instead of this one size fits all. And part of that, it's part of the push to encourage more affordable housing, because today you pay the same single family fee whether you're building a 800 square foot, little 2-bedroom, or a 3,000 square foot 5-bedroom home. And so by going to a square footage fee, they're hoping to make a little more affordable in jurisdictions for developing the smaller homes. We are in the middle of redoing our TIMF program right now. So as we move forward, our TIMF program is going to the board in the next 3 months for adoption. 90 days after that, the new fees take effect. So this will have to be updated to reflect that. I don't know the timeline for our TIF to do that. I know they're just starting their work. So that'll come sometime after. So just so you're aware, both on the tool here and in your general business, there will be a shift over the next 12 months or so, where instead of this asking for dwelling units, ultimately it's going to come out and look pretty much the same here, where it'll just say enter the project size in square feet. And that's about all I have. So any other questions? Anything else I can show you, or?
No, it looks good, and I appreciate the update of what's coming in the future here as far as how the calculations are going to take place. Thank you.
Okay. You're
Yeah,
most
thank you
welcome.
very much.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all we have then. So with no more questions, thank you for coming out. It was great to be able to show off our tool. This has been a little labor of love for us to, like I said, make all of our lives so much easier, and it makes us very happy to know that you think this will be a useful tool moving forward. So,
Yes, definitely.
excellent. So
Thank you.
CJ, back to you.
For all your efforts and for including this on this demonstration.
Yeah, and to confirm, Jeffrey, this will be available July 1st, correct?
That is the plan, yes, because
That's
we
the
have
plan.
we have our new fees rolling out. So either Friday, July 1st, it may end up being, because with the 4th of July weekend, it may not actually go live until Tuesday, July 5th. But yeah,
Got it.
it's definitely going to be rolling out. It's ready to go. We just have to change over the numbers as of July 1st to whatever our new fiscal year fees are going to be. The numbers that just popped up, those are current as of today through next Thursday. Every July 1st, we update them for the fiscal year. If you know anybody that needs to get some fees, tell them to come pay, because as we all know, prices have gone up this year, and we adjusted based on the consumer cost index. So like everything, traffic fees are going to cost a chunk of money more in 2 weeks.
A good tip. Get it in now while you can.
Yes, get it now while you can.
Awesome. Well, if you all have no more questions, we will let you go on with your day. Again, thank you so much for joining us today and getting to look at the tool. Again, I mean, I think it'll be really useful. It's very simple and easy to use, and hopefully a great resource for you all. I know my team had been reaching out to each of you, Brad and Zach. So if you have any questions afterwards and you need help, feel free to reach out to us. I'm sure you also have contact information with the county, but if there's anything else we can help you with, please send us an email.
Okay.
Other than that,
Right.
have a great week, everyone. We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you again, Jeff, for your
you.
demonstration. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.